In a world ruled by empires and emperors, where survival often meant compromise, one man stood firm, not in defiance, but in unwavering faith. His name was Daniel, a Hebrew captive in Babylon. Daniel was just a teenager when he was torn from his homeland. Jerusalem had fallen. The temple, the heart of Jewish identity, was destroyed. Everything he knew, everything sacred, was gone. But Daniel carried something with him that no conqueror could take. Faith. Here, gods were made of gold, and kings demanded absolute loyalty. To refuse the king was to invite death. Yet Daniel, even in his youth, refused to eat food sacrificed to idols. In a foreign land, they stood out not by shouting, but by shining. He drew a line not in rebellion, but in devotion. Babylon was more than just a city. It was the center of power, wealth, and idol worship. And God honored it. Daniel and his 3 friends and Abednego were 10 times wiser than all the magicians and astrologers in the king's court. Then came the test. When King Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a troubling dream and demanded its interpretation without even revealing the dream itself, none of the royal advisors could help. Execution was imminent. But Daniel prayed, not to the gods of Babylon, but to the God of heaven. And in the quiet of the night, the mystery was revealed. He didn't take the credit, he gave it to God. He became a living bridge across regimes, a man so full of wisdom and integrity that kings could unignore him. That bold humility elevated Daniel to a high position in the kingdom, from prisoner to prime minister, without ever compromising his values. Empires fell. Kings came and went. But Daniel remained. He didn't hide, he didn't compromise, he didn't make excuses. He chose the furnace of faith over the comfort of safety. He served Nebuchadnezzar, then Belshazzar, and later Darius the Mede. But not everyone admired him. At dawn, he rushed to the den and called out. A law was passed. No one may pray to any god or man except King Darius for 30 days. Jealous rivals schemed against Daniel. They knew his weakness wasn't ambition, it was prayer. So they devised a trap. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. The punishment, death by lions. And what did Daniel do? He opened his window, knelt down, and prayed just as he had always done. And he was thrown to the lions. That night, the king couldn't sleep. The man he trusted most had been sentenced by his own decree. Daniel, servant of the living God, has our God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you? And from the darkness came a voice. O king, live forever. Even in silence, he found God's voice. That faith real tested and unwavering can influence nations. And more importantly, he knew whose he was. Daniel walked out, and that consistency earned the respect of kings and the favor of God. The lions who devoured others couldn't touch him, because faith, when tested, reveals its truest strength. Daniel's story is more than history, it's a mirror for our times. When truth is unpopular, when pressure mounts to blend in, when your values are mocked, will you stand? When compromise looks easier than conviction, when standing alone feels impossible, remember Daniel. In a world that rewards compromise, Daniel reminds us that integrity still matters, that courage still counts. He wasn't perfect, he wasn't powerful in worldly terms. Even in exile, he found purpose. Even in danger, he found peace. Daniel lived through fire without being burned, not because of political alliances, not because of charm or cleverness, but because he knew who he was. His legacy isn't just one of survival, it's one of transformation. Babylon didn't change. Daniel changed Babylon. He decoded dreams, outlived empires, and walked with angels. But most of all, he kept the faith. So when the lions roar in your life, because real faith isn't proven in comfort, it's proven under fire.